for the coach, I'll go back. Kendrick and Mark will be joining us via Google Hangout. First order of business will be our case and pledge by Maurice. Over.
Let's pray. I just want to thank you for another opportunity to meet again, to improve our communication skills and leadership skills that we would apply in the real world. Lead us and guide us, and very special with this new great man. Amen. There's a flag.
Don't know what it looks like.
Okay, we're just.
Have a flag.
You have a flag?
Yes, sir.
Just in time.
Howdy, how are you?
Adam, this is Luke.
Hi, Luke.
Adam.
Nice to meet you, sir.
I thought you put in you weren't coming to it.
If I did, it was by mistake.
Okay.
Okay.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. I'm gonna move you guys a little bit forward here, so you can be closer to the lectern, unless somebody else is way, hopefully.
Thank you, Maurice.
I guess that's a good view. Okay, yeah.
That's a good view, thanks.
As far as club business is concerned, this is the first of the month. Well, it's the third time we started the month. It was our week to pay the rent. Rent is due. Rent is $7. Is that right, Constance? $7. So please see Constance before you leave. And we meet on the first and third of every month. We had met the membership requirement to be a club. It was a touch and go for a second, but we are still an active club. Thanks to Maurice Hyder for her membership. Okay, great. Tonight, looking over the agenda, everybody should be here. Constance had to step out for a second, and so I'll take the role as Toastmaster until she would return. Okay, looking over
Do you
the,
have any club business?
the fact that we need to pay rent. We still are a club. Have a new member, Maurice.
Regional and national conventions. Did you want to mention anything about that?
Go ahead.
I don't remember the dates. I don't have my book.
We have the national conventions coming up. That's where all the Toastmasters
I believe in
International.
October.
It's in October.
I think it's in October.
It's in October. Then we have a district meeting coming up. April. It's going to be in April. This is another opportunity for to meet more Toastmasters and see that the organization is really a huge organization. And learn some new skills. But the grammarian is going to be Lawrence. The word of the day, Lawrence.
Okay. The grammarian does a couple of roles. The grammarian does one role as trying to keep track of the proper grammar and that kind of thing in the meeting. Also, the grammarian is an out-counter. If you use a lot of fillers, if someone uses a lot of fillers, then I would keep track of those and let them know to help them to change their habit of going and ah and ooh and whatever all the time. Also, I introduce a word for the day. And the word for the day is anybody who's giving a speaking should try to use this word in some way during the course of the evening, and it helps us to build our vocabulary. This evening's word is going to be plebeian, which means coarse, vulgar, and tasteless. He doubted if these boys had been playing soccer. Hearst-down sporting young gentlemen would surely scorn such a plebeian game. Plebeian. Coarse, vulgar, and tasteless.
Thank you, Lawrence. We'll have a tabletop is by Melody Pickett. Melody, could you tell us what the role of the tabletop master is?
Let's see if I remember. Table Topics Master, it's almost like playing a little game where I come up with subjects and then I pick people to give me a response to the subject that I chose. That's Table Topics. What is it?
1 to 2 minutes.
1 to 2 minutes.
Thank you. Thank you. The evaluator will be Adam Strange. Adam, can you tell us some who you are? General evaluator.
Oh, I thought that's what it's your job. But yes, I absolutely will. The general evaluator is the individual or member of the meeting that tells how the meeting went as far as generalities. Did it start on time? Did everybody fulfill their duties? And so forth, just to kind of give general information about the meeting.
Okay. Thank you. You have a team. You have a timer. How do you do of the timer?
I keep track of how long the speeches are and the table topics. Make sure no one goes over their speeches and make sure they at least meet the minimum requirements.
Thank you.
How long is the speech?
This particular speech I'm supposed to be giving this afternoon was 10 to.
That didn't look good.
That does not look good.
No. Looks like he hit a button or something.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully he'll call back. One thing that I like to do on this thing is mute the audio when you're not talking. That way it won't switch to, the camera won't switch to you. They're back.
Let's go ahead and get with our program today. Have we done our word of the day?
Yes.
Okay. So the agenda today, we're going to start with our speaker. Do we have a speaker assigned? Julius, is that you assigned today? Julius is going to speak to us today on the Successful Club Series, number 6, the meeting roles and responsibilities, the visionary leader. He'll be sharing this with us today. Julius is an educator himself. He's very outgoing, and we look forward to listening and learning from Julius. Let's welcome Julius.
I will be speaking from the visionary leader. This is a part of the leadership series. This can be a evaluator speech. So we have a general evaluator. I'll have Adam to evaluate this.
Pass that down to me, or do you want to evaluate it for me?
It's not a speech that you do for designation other than to be for the next advancement in the leadership series. All right. In Alice Adventures in Wonderland, she asked the cat, "Could you please tell me in which direction should I go?" And the cat says, "That all depends on which direction you want to go." Alice said, "It really doesn't much matter." Then, in that case, it really doesn't much matter which way you go, said the cat. What Alice learned from that conversation was, it's very important that you have a specific direction that you want to go in. And any leader who wants to be a visionary leader has to have a direction in which he wants to go. Because anytime a leader says to the question, "Where do you want to go?" and they respond with, "I really don't know," and it's certain that that person is going to go nowhere. You begin with vision. Why is vision important? Vision is the ability to perceive the many possibilities that an organization has in front of it. To create a picture of what can happen to the organization. Vision sets a clear, focused direction in which the organization can go. People are motivated when they have a clear direction to go. They know what they want to be expected of them, and they're willing to go for it. Now, a leader must provide this direction by first developing his mission, his vision, and once he develops his mission, he's got to be able to pass that mission on to other members of the team. Now, a vision statement is a means of translating that vision. The purpose of a vision statement is to provide a general direction without providing any of the specific tactics or strategies to get there. It's just a general big picture. Now, a vision provides a context for decision making. Whenever the team has to make a decision or the company has to make a decision, they always look to the vision. The vision tells us this is what we're about. So if this decision involves anything, then we have to say, is it in line with the vision? Now let's look at some of the characteristics of the vision statement. Vision statements are clear. They're easily understandable and they're challenging. They impart lofty but achievable goals. Now, if you say you want to be the #1 company in computers, and you don't necessarily even have a computer, it's not going to be something that people can buy in. And people become they lose interest and they become disheartened when they don't feel that what we want to achieve is achievable. Okay. Generally, they don't address the specifics again. They don't talk about we want to get $50 million or we want to get 30 new members. It's we want to be a great company. We want to be a great company. Back to be general. If something happens when we're in a mission, we're trying to get something done, we just address it and we move on. That's part of the mission. It's people-oriented. It's not about what the leader wants for himself. It's about what the people want. Just like the mission for the Toastmasters, it focuses on members. How can the members benefit? What's in it for the members? It's not about the person himself. It's inspiring. When the team members find the vision exciting and noble, they say, I want it. I think I want to help achieve it. It's something I want to be part of. Easy to communicate. It's simple to explain. You want to keep your vision statements to 1 or 2 sentences. The easier it is to say it, the easier it is to remember it. You can have it like a paragraph, but you want to keep it short and succinct. It answers the following question to help develop a mission statement. These are the questions you want to ask. What does the organization do well? What does the team do well? What is the most important thing the team wants to do? What's the most important thing the organization wants to do? What makes the organization unique and special? Now remember, the mission statement is only a guiding statement of principle, not talking about the particular strategies and tactics, how we want to accomplish the goals. It's just that this is our big picture. We want to get there, and we're going to do it. That's the mission or the vision. Willingness to achieve the mission. Any leader who wants to achieve anything has to have the cooperation of others. So if you want to be a leader, you have no followers, then you're not leading. You have to have people willing to follow. A leader has to provide the team members with some part of a vision that they can say, hey, this is my part, I'm going to do this, I'm buying in. It requires cooperation and teamwork. Again, nobody can accomplish anything by themselves. You need everybody committed to achieving the same objectives. All right, next, communicating the vision. And the leaders are responsible for communicating the vision clearly in terms where everybody can understand it. The team must comprehend certain things. For example, the relationship to the daily task. Why am I doing my job? You're doing your job because it's part of the vision. The vision is we've got to help people. The vision people have to see how what they're doing on a daily basis relates to the big vision. Yeah, their role in the vision. What am I responsible for? To communicate a vision effectively, these are some things you want to consider. You got to talk about the vision all the time. At meetings, one-on-ones, talking off the cuff, the vision has to be out there constantly. It becomes like something that's breathing and alive. The more we talk about it, the more it breathes, the more it becomes alive. It has to be the focus of what we talk about, what we communicate. And that way, it helps the team members to embrace it. You have to describe the vision and tell people why it's important. Because this is what we're about, and you have a part in this, I have a part in this. People want to be a part of what we're doing. Then you have to explain why it will benefit them. If you do your part, the team's going to win. Your one part is just as significant as this person's part. It requires everybody's effort to achieve the goal. The kicker is no more less important than the quarterback, because at some point it might become the kicker's opportunity to win the game. Everybody plays an important role. Every block, just using the football analogy, everything that takes place on the field is important. You got to be enthusiastic. And once you're enthusiastic, and other people say, hey man, these guys are excited about it, I want a piece of that. Now, if you're not excited about it, who else is going to get excited about it? And once you get enthusiastic about it, then other people want to buy in. Show that you mean it. You show that you mean it by your actions. Now, if you say that you are for clear air and clean air, then let's go ahead and put out those cigarettes. So everything that you say you're about, you have to show it in your actions. You say you're for people's rights, and you can't be disrespecting people. You gotta, if you say you're about it, then show it with your actions. Because action shows the leader is for what he's talking about. Finally, after the leader has described the mission, he's got everybody excited about the mission. It's time you have to get people to commit to achieving the goal. We've talked about it, I'm excited about it, you're excited about it, and I cannot get your commitment on this. You have to ask people for the commitment. Because once you ask people for their commitment, and they're more likely to follow through. If I say, hey, would you do this for me? Or would you do this for the team? And you say, yes, I will, I can expect that to happen. But if I never ask you to commit, you say, I'm thinking about it. No real commitment. And once I get a commitment, then hey, we're going to move forward. In conclusion, a vision is evolutionary, constantly changing. As the organization changes, time changes, and the team and the vision has to change. Not a whole lot, but you have to be willing to make adjustments to the vision. But keeping in mind, it's just the big picture. We might have to change some of our strategies, some of our tactics, but our goal is the vision is the same. So my commandment to you guys is to for you to become visionary leaders. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Julius. Thank you, Julius, for sharing such an awesome speech on being a visionary as a leader. As leaders, we have to have a plebeian vision for our organization. I know that visions are lofty, they're cumbersome, they can be challenging, but they are doable. It can be done, and it has to be shared with buy-in. So thank you for sharing that, because it's no I in team. So thank you, Julius. Such a wonderful speech. We will now start our table topics. The person that will be starting our table topics will be Melody. Melody will be carrying out everything. And Melanie has already explained the process of table topics and the amount of time it takes to speak on whatever she shares. So let's welcome Melanie to the podium.
Hello, everybody.
Good evening.
This table topic should be very interesting. So we have enough people, so let's get started. Lawrence, pick a number from 1 to 9.
7.
7. What life lesson did you learn the hard way?
Fellow Toastmasters, Madam Topic Master, and fellow guests, honored guests, I very appreciate the opportunity to speak on this particular subject. I believe that unfortunately, most of my life lessons have been learned the hard way. I believe a little bit I might be, what might you say, a bit hard-headed. So sometimes when you're a hard-headed person, you might fail to actually listen to the words of experience. And I can remember many times in my younger days when people would tell me something or give me some advice, and I would look at it and say, well, that worked for them, but it might not work for me. And then it might have been years later when I got knocked down and got back up again that I realized, I should have listened to that guy 35 years ago, and I would probably be a much better person today. So, if you don't want to be plebeian, then you should listen to those who have good advice. Madam Topic Master.
Thank you, Lawrence. All right. Constance, pick a number from 1 through 9.
4.
Number 4. What is the most desirable trait another person can possess?
Most desirable
Trait another person can possess.
Most desirable trait a person can possess is just being a good character by showing a smile, being friendly. Being friendly, you just never know how you can make someone's day when they're low. Just like the greeters when you go into McDonald's and they say, have a wonderful day. They never know how effective and contagious just saying that could be. It can make someone's day or it can ruin someone's day. It can bring an ominous start to a day, which means that it can just ruin your day for the rest of the day if they're nasty. So the way you approach someone, your facial expression, the way you greet people, and the way you smile can bring a smile to someone who's having a gloomy day or a bad day. So smiles can be contagious. So I think a wonderful trait to have is just bringing a beautiful smile.
All right, thank you, Constance. All right, Maurice.
Yes.
The number between 1 and 9.
Number 1.
All right. Number 1. What do you wish you spent more time doing 5 years ago?
5 years ago, what do I wish I would have done more of? I'll phrase it as what I'll do less of. For one thing, less procrastination. I'm bad at procrastinating. I mean, I may have a certain set of tasks in front of me, but for some reason, I put it off, at least a few minutes or so. And I guess that's my plebeian side. But among the things that I can improve on 5 years ago is being less of a procrastinator.
Thank you, Maurice. Adam, pick a number from 1 through 9.
5.
Number 5. What makes you smile?
Oh.
Madam Table Topics, Toastmasters, honored guests. Question is, what makes me smile? Being that I'm an idiot, it doesn't take a whole lot to make me smile.
Give me the X.
Yeah, hit the X. I'm sorry. Apologize. Alarms going off in the middle of my speech makes me smile. Maybe because it's embarrassing. Or maybe the first statement I had made as far as being just stupidity makes me smile. But there's a lot of things that makes me smile. Warm greeting from a friend you hadn't seen in a while, a coworker when you come into work, a Coke.
Yeah.
Pop a Coke makes me smile. Helps me get a good start to my day. I'm talking about the drink, Dad. However, that may make you smile. May make you smile in death. A warm, sunny day. Pretty plants, flowers. But if I was set to say one individual thing, I would say that would be, that makes me most smile, is the smile of a child. Because there's a little bit of heaven in every child's smile. And the smile that greets me in the morning when I wake my daughter up to go to school is the smile that makes me smile the most.
All right, Mark, pick a number 1 through 9.
Let's see. I don't think, has 8 been chosen?
No.
I'll choose 8.
If you had to teach, what would you teach?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear all that.
If you had to teach What would you teach?
If I had to teach, what would I teach?
Yes.
Well, part of my job is teaching. And I'm right now struggling with how do I teach the Army how to do things the smart way? How do I teach the Army to use the billion-dollar software package that has been installed in a way that will save the taxpayers money? One of the first things I started looking at was from the Department of Defense Inspector General's report from December, where instead of following the recommendations of the system, they overrode the recommendations and ended up buying 23.5 years supply of a turbine blade that goes into a jet engine for helicopters. So by the time they use up all of these blades, that engine will be obsolete. So I could just teach the Army to use the software that's been provided to them that they paid for, I would be very happy. Thank you.
All right, Kendrick. Pick a number for me, 1 through 9.
I'll take number 6.
Okay. What's the difference between living and existing?
What is the difference between living and existing? To me, the difference between living and existing is living is you're actually doing something proactive with your life. You're learning, you're progressing, you're constantly evolving as a person in whatever facets of life you choose to do that in. Whereas existing, to me, is you're just getting by. You're not doing anything extra to make yourself a better person or make the people around you better. So to me, that's one of the biggest differences. I've often seen people, even where I work at, it's like they just work there. They exist in their space as an employee, but they don't do anything outside of what they have to do to get by. So I would say that that's part of just existing in the workspace, whereas living, you would be more proactive. You would put yourself in tough positions where you normally aren't used to, which is kind of what brings me to Toastmasters. Public speaking has always been something I've kind of struggled with, and through the process of living, I figured it was something I needed to get better at. So that's what I got for the difference between living and existing.
Bring it on.
All right, Luke, your turn. Pick a number from 1 to 9.
2.
Okay. 2. Which activities make you lose track of time?
All right. Well, thank you everyone for having me. And my name's Luke Green. I've met you all already. So what are some of the things that makes me lose track of time? Well, there's probably more than just a couple of things that make me lose track of time, but the main thing I can think of would be any kind of outdoor activities such as hiking, camping, mountain biking. I could stay out in the woods for quite some time and just not even worry about what time it is. So other than that, I love to go shooting. I just started like woodworking. And anything like that is always fun and definitely better than going to your normal job or anything like that. So it's easy to kind of get lost out in the garage, turn on the radio, and just start messing around with things that you're kind of passionate about and things you like doing. I think that's all I got for now.
All right, last but not least, Julius. Pick a number between 3 and 9.
3.
Which is worse, failing or never trying?
Toastmasters, Toastmasters. Luke,
Yes, sir.
you guys are out in Google land. The difference between, the question again, the difference between failing and, which is worse, failing or
Never trying.
never trying. The thing about failing is, there's no failure in failure. Failure is just a way to get to the next level. Because if you're not willing to fail, you're not willing to grow. And part of becoming better is, first you got to be bad, then you got to be good, then you got to get better, then you become the best. But first you got to be bad. You got to be bad at anything that you start out new in order to become better at it. So once you learn to embrace failure as the way to success, then every time you fail, it's like, hey, this is great, love it, I'm failing. So I won't be doing this for long, but I know that I am failing, that means I'm growing. If I'm not failing, I'm not growing. So as long as I'm failing and learning from my failures, I know I'm growing.
Keep going.
I got a key point. I guess that's enough for me. Topic master.
Thank you. All right, that concludes our table topics. Turn over to Melody.
All right, very good.
Thank you, Melody. Such an outstanding job with our table topic tonight. We got a chance to learn a little bit about our guest Luke. It sounds like he's an outdoorsman. And we had a chance to listen to everyone who really did excellent jobs tonight. So thank you very much for sharing. And like you were saying about failing, and there's no successful person that's on top that got there without failing. So I think failure equates to success. So thank you. And that way, by us being here, we're not being so plebeian. We're becoming more outgoing on our jobs. We're becoming more articulate when we speak, more enthusiastic when we lead. So that's why we're here. So let's continue on with our, we will start now with our general evaluator. Our general evaluator will be Adam tonight. Adam will evaluate Julie's speech, and he will introduce the rest for our on our agenda. So come on up, Adam.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. All right, so we're going to have a few things we have to evaluate tonight. We'll evaluate the meeting, of course, and then evaluate Julius' speech. So I'll go ahead and evaluate Julius' speech, and then we'll get the timer's report, and then I'll give the general evaluation for the meeting. Okay. In an effort to keep Julius from being plebeian, right? Hope to provide him some very positive feedback, some a little bit of constructive criticism, maybe. But I felt that Julius did a good job. He was quite effective at presenting his speech and the purpose of the speech in this Leadership Excellence series. I thought he was adequately prepared. I don't think he really looked too heavily at his notes. He said what he had to say for that phrase, or frame, if you will, and as he went on to the next segment of his presentation, he looked at his notes and then turned very confidently and began to regurgitate what was in his notes without being really overt at looking at his notes. So I thought that was quite well done. He also I thought he used a good vocal variety. He kept the speech light and interesting with his change in vocal instead of being just monotone in speaking like Ferris Bueller's teacher. Okay, so we want to kind of go up in pitch and volume as the speech, as the presenter feels like the speech needs to maybe to bring out a certain point or what have you. I think he personalized it very well. He used different examples. I think he did very well to kind of use general examples that most everybody could understand and relate to in their daily lives. So I thought that was good. If I could say that maybe if there's one thing, maybe an improvement, maybe kind of slow down a little bit. When you slow down and you were thinking about what you were saying, you enunciated your words quite well, and you did well in that regard. But I think kind of towards the end of the speech, and you were trying to get out what you needed to say, the words kind of got a little bit muddled a little bit. But other than that, the speech was very, very good. And when you did take your time and present your material, you spoke very well and you did very good. So overall, I think it was a very, very good speech. Thank you. Okay. Next will be the timer's report for the different speeches that we gave. Julius's speech and the various table topic speeches that were given tonight. I'd like to ask Melanie Pickett to come here and give her timer's report.
Thank you. The timer's report is as follows. For Julius's speech, it was 11 minutes and 27 seconds. For table topics, Lawrence spoke for 1 minute and 36 seconds. Constance spoke for 34 seconds. Marie spoke for 1 minute and 3 seconds. Adam spoke for 1 minute and 49 seconds. Mark spoke for 1 minute. Kendrick spoke for 1 minute and 28 seconds. Luke spoke for 1 minute and 1 second. Julius spoke for 1 minute and 10 seconds. And Adam gave the evaluation for 3 minutes. That concludes the timer's report.
Thank you, Melanie. Okay, next report to be given will be the grammarian's report. Lawrence Prompt. Thank you.
For the grammarian's report, I do have a little bit that I can go over. We actually use the word of the day by 4 different people: Adam, myself, Constance, and Maurice. Now, going down the line, Adam had quite a few uhs and ums and ahs and so on. More than I usually, after I get to more than 3, I stop counting. But that is something you might want to build up in your mind. And I also am doing the same thing as I'm standing here. I'm hearing myself. Another thing that Adam did was that I noticed occasionally, once I noticed it twice, that you use double words, like and then do this. So you use the same word twice. Now, Julius did very well. I didn't hear any ums and ahs and so on. I could, by watching him, I could see where he was about to do something like that, but he did what he was supposed to do and just paused and let it pass and continued. But there were a few times when he did use double words. Same word twice in a row. Constance also had a couple of ums and ahs. Melody, I didn't notice any. I might have missed some, but I don't think so. I think she did very well. Maurice had 1 that I counted. Kendrick had a few. And Luke also, being new to speaking, you used quite a few, actually, ums and ahs and filler words. And what we like to try to do is to be conscious of what we're speaking, and if we're waiting for the next sentence, instead of trying to fill that space, just pause. So other than that, The speech went very well. Everything was very good, and I did enjoy your speech very much. Thank you. And also, Luke, I would like to thank you for coming up and speaking. That was very brave of you. A lot of times the new people don't really want to come up and speak, especially in spontaneous table topics. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Lawrence. Since I got thoroughly sacked by your review, I appreciate it. So maybe I'll say something harsh in my general
Please,
evaluation.
don't be plebeian.
Okay, I'm sure the meeting got started on time. I apologize, I was a little bit late. It came from another meeting to get to this meeting, but hey, that's what we have to do. The meeting went quite well. Madam Table Topics did quite well.
Yes, good talk.
Madam Toastmaster done quite well. There was really, I like since we only had one speaker, that allowed our Table Topics Master tonight to really dish out the speeches. And I think the questions or the items for people to speak on was quite thought out, and I think everyone enjoyed it. I know I did as well. So, as far as the grammarian, and the timer, and the junior evaluator's report, I think that's quite done at this moment, so I will step down and relinquish the record back to Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Adam. I gotta say, we really had a productive meeting tonight. And we learned a lot, and we had a chance to come up and practice what we want to show on our jobs and our day-to-day lives. Right now, we're going to relinquish the lecture to our president, Mr. Armstrong.
All right. We have a few minutes, and we were talking about speech. I'll take a few minutes to speak from Toastmasters International, your speaking voice. It's a speaker's profile on positive and negative qualities of speech. I'm just going to go through some things so we can know what's negative and what is positive. And it's a scale from 1 to 7. I'll make some copies so everybody can kind of keep a tally on your own speech. Loudness or volume. Some negatives are you too quiet, inaudible, flat. Positive, loudness or volume, good projection, easily heard, vibrant, dynamic. Pitch, too high, easily negative, shrill, monotonous. Pitch, good or positive, is low, full, and varied. Voice quality, negative, nasal, breathy, harsh, raspy, lifeless. On the positive side, open, clear, mellow, enthusiastic. Articulation, word use. On the negative, sluggish, lazy lips, tangled tongue, tight jaw, mumbling, mispronunciation. On the positive side, clear, crisp, controlled, open mouth, projection, pronunciation. Okay, time and rate, jerky, slow, plodding, unvaried, hesitant. On the good side, positive, smooth, fluent, varied, exciting, deliberate. Vocal variety, negative, emotionless, unfriendly, strained, dull. Positive, conveys emotion, genuine, natural, vital. And that's your speaking profile. What you want to do is you want to constantly kind of watch your own speaking profile. Am I more over here? Do I need you to move more in this direction? I need to try to stay more than positive. So it's a lot of room for growth. You can be here today, be there tomorrow. You can fail over here tomorrow, you can go over there the next day. So there's always a lot of room for growth. Okay. And here, as far as business goes, before we leave tonight, make sure you pay Constance the rent so we can continue to come up in here. Is there anything else for
Okay, one thing I would like to bring up, I did notice, and echoing. The one thing I would like to bring up that we may not be aware of, when we are speaking, we should try to never leave the lectern empty. So if you're up here giving a talk or something, then you stay up here and greet the person that's coming up, so that there's always someone in the central position. So I noticed many times this evening there was a point when there was nobody at the lectern, and so it's a small thing, but it's very good when you're in a normal meeting to have that happen. The rule.
Joyous, if I can have just a couple of minutes to talk about the next meeting.
Okay.
All right. I'd like to have everybody go on to Easy Speak and request a speech. That way I can schedule it. Melody, I've scheduled you for next week, our next meeting. Will you be able to give a speech at the next meeting?
Yeah.
All right. And Maurice.
Yes.
What do you have your manual, and would you like me to schedule you for a speech?
We'll be doing an icebreaker.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Icebreaker speech.
Do we have a
I can make mention. Adam, when you working what kind of
I guess I'll call
you can't. How many speeches have you done? You're in a position to help. Yes.
You want to be hit? So Adam is your mentor. Phone numbers and stuff to press.
Okay. Will you be ready to give your icebreaker the first meeting in May?
My business to be ready.
Okay, I'm going to put you on the schedule then. One other thing not related to the schedule is that Kedrick hasn't gotten his manuals yet, and when I tried to go on to Toastmasters International tonight, Club Central is grayed out. I can't get to it. So can somebody check and see what's going on with Kedrick's manuals and why he hasn't received them?
Okay, I'll make a call to the national. Because Constance said she tried to remember. Yeah.
Yeah, I the Club Central, normally you can just go to Club Central and check on things, but it's grayed out. You can't even get to it.
Well, I have a number that I call. Matter.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else? Okay. If not, meeting adjourned. I thank everyone for coming. Yes, Google guys.